for many, many years, over 10 years, I've always had a desire to build my own business. But I was so afraid. For 10 years, I couldn't even take a picture of myself. You wouldn't see a picture of myself online because I was so afraid of being rejected. I was so afraid that people were going to judge me. I was so afraid that people were going to spell out all of my insecurities and all of the things I didn't like about myself. Okay? So if you think about this, it was because there were many things I didn't feel confident in myself. And I felt that other people were going to judge me for it. Welcome to the Joyful Money Podcast. This is a place for ambitious entrepreneurs who want to make a huge impact and build a life of wealth and abundance without the stress and overwhelm. I am your host, Joy Rowland, and here you'll learn how to make money the joyful way. Why the joyful way? Well, because joy is infectious. Joy exudes confidence. Joy is attractive. Joy is sexy. And joy attracts abundance. Your journey to limitless abundance starts right now. Hello there. A very warm welcome to this episode of the podcast. Today's topic is how to get over your fear of rejection. Now, why is the fear of rejection so important? Well, I have seen in many of my clients that they don't take action to get the results they want in their lives and in their businesses, in their careers because of the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection stops you from taking action. The fear of rejection comes up as self-doubt, as imposter syndrome. So getting over your fear of rejection is like the fastest way to success. So today I'm going to break down exactly what the fear of rejection is and how you can finally get over your fear of rejection. So how does the fear of rejection work? Well, I want you to know that the fear of rejection is a natural thing, especially for human beings. Well, how? If you go back to the early days when we used to live in caves, it was very, very important that we stayed in the community of other human beings. Because if you were not with other human beings, then very likely you weren't going to survive. So, being accepted into a community at that time was very, very important for our survival. So it's a very natural thing to want to belong. It's a very natural thing to want to be accepted. So I want you to understand that the fear of rejection, it has evolved, right? It used to be a survival mechanism. Now it's evolved even more than just surviving. So when you go into history and how we were in societies in ancient times, the fear of rejection and being accepted was very, very critical to our survival. But if you think about it, we don't live in caves anymore, right? Um, so in those days when we lived in caves, if we were together as human beings, we could fight off a lion, for example, or a tiger or any other wild animal, right? So being together with other people ensure that you survived as a human being. Well, now we live in cities, we live in homes. There is no threat of a wild animal coming to attack us. So that physical harm of being attacked by wild animals is no longer there. So it has evolved from being afraid of to be killed by a lion to being afraid of social rejection. So right now the fear of rejection, if you look at it critically, it's not that you're going to die physically, it's that you're going to be rejected socially. So this is how the fear of rejection has evolved. Now when you think about the fear of being rejected, it's actually a quest for acceptance. Okay, so there's a connection between being afraid to be rejected on one side and the desire to be accepted by others. Okay, so I'll give you an example. If you have a fear of heights or you have a fear of flying, The fear of flying is actually the fear of crashing. Okay. So if you're afraid to fly, it's not just the actual being in a plane that scares you, it's the fear that the plane is going to crash. Okay. Now, the fear of rejection is actually rooted in the desire for acceptance. So I want you to think about this. Why is it that you desire acceptance from others? If, like I've explained, your physical protection is no longer in danger, your physical safety is no longer in danger. So, why do you still seek acceptance from others? Why is this so important? Well, think about this. You are afraid of being rejected. That is stopping you from taking action in your business. It's stopping you from taking action in your life. It's stopping you from taking action in your career to progress forward. So that fear of rejection is actually a desire to be accepted, is actually a desire to be seen as one of us, is a desire to be seen as one of the cool guys. Okay. So your fear of being rejected is actually a desire for acceptance. But if you think about this, we started to feel the need to be accepted as we evolved. So if you think about when you were a child, and if you think of children now, at the beginning, children never had this quest for acceptance. They were just themselves. But as a child grows, and let's say the child is crawling and is beginning to do things, the parent or the caregiver will gradually start to condition that child, right? So let's say the child starts to crawl up the stairs. You, as the parent, you're going to say, no, stop, you're going to fall. Or the child does something that's wrong, you tend to correct the child. And gradually, the child that was born as a free spirit, gradually that child begins to mold his or her behavior to fit your acceptance, right? So that they can be accepted by you. And this is why there is a difference between your true self and your conditioned self. Now, the reason you are seeking acceptance so critically and so dearly right now is because there is a difference between your true self, your authentic self, and your conditioned self. You are seeking approval, you're seeking validation because you are not living your authentic self. When you're living your authentic self, you are so confident that you do not need validation from anybody. Okay. So we've grown, society has helped to mold us into our conditioned self. Society has told us what's right and wrong. Society has told us, oh, you don't behave like that in public. Well, now, I'm not saying that is wrong or right. I'm just trying to bring your attention to why you are constantly seeking approval from others, to why you are so afraid of being rejected. I'll give you an example. For many, many years, over 10 years, I've always had a desire to build my own business. But I was so afraid. For 10 years, I couldn't even take a picture of myself. You wouldn't see a picture of myself online because I was so afraid of being rejected. I was so afraid that people were going to judge me. I was so afraid that people were going to spell out all of my insecurities and all of the things I didn't like about myself. Okay? So if you think about this, it was because there were many things I didn't feel confident in myself. And I felt that other people were going to judge me for it. And that kept me stuck. That kept me hiding because I didn't want the society to judge me. I didn't want people to um, tell me I didn't fit in. So it's your desire to be accepted that is keeping you stuck. It's your desire to be accepted by society that is keeping you from taking action in your business. It's your desire to be accepted by others that is keeping you from building the hugely successful business you want to build. You're not being visible. People don't know who you are. People don't know you have a business. And if people don't know you have a business, how are they going to buy from you? So finally getting over your fear of rejection is the most important thing you can do for yourself. And I've talked about going back to your childhood and thinking how you were as a child. The average child gets reminded 8 times more than praised. And this influences how that child begin to perceive themselves. That child, so many times, 8 more times, the child is told you're doing the wrong thing compared to the number of times the child is told you're doing the right thing. So naturally, the child is going to grow to change her true self, to condition herself from her true, authentic self to becoming the conditioned self. And this is why you are experiencing cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance in the sense that it's almost like you're wearing a mask. Before you step out of your house, you wear a mask so that you condition yourself to society. And then when you get back home, you become your true self again. And this is why you're constantly seeking approval from others. Now, when you gradually move back to your true self, you will no longer need to be accepted by others. You're just going to live your true and authentic self. You're going to show up as your true and authentic self, and you no longer you're no longer afraid to be rejected. You're no longer afraid of what people will judge you for. So I know the next question in your mind will be, well, how do I find my path to self acceptance? You have to accept yourself first. Now, going back to my example of never showing up online, I had to accept myself first. I had to look in the mirror and say, well, I have something of value to share with the world. I have something so valuable that I needed to get over my my sense of shame with my insecurities. For example, I used to think, "Oh my God, I am so fat. Nobody's gonna want to watch my videos on YouTube." Okay, that was one of the insecurities that kept me stuck. Until I accepted myself and wasn't needing external validation, I didn't have the confidence to show up online. So I want you to think about this for yourself. Why are you seeking external validation? Why are you relying on other people accepting you? Why are you so afraid of being rejected? So think about that very carefully. And to know exactly what your true self is, I want you to reconnect with your childhood passions, the joys you had as a child. That is your true self. How you were as a little child, that's exactly what your true self is. Over the years, 20, 30, 40 years, you've conditioned yourself from that true self to who you project yourself to the world right now. So if you want to go back to your true self, if you want to have self acceptance for yourself, you have to go back to your childhood because as a child, that was your true self. So think back when you were 2 years old, 3 or 5. What did you like? What were your hobbies as a child? Now, maybe that's too far out to think. What I did for myself was I called my dad and I said, Dad, can you remember how I was as a child? And I asked my daddy to describe all of the things I used to like as a child. Those behaviors were my true self. So, and I tell my daughter, she's 5 now, I think she's very lucky because I have documented in video her life. Right? It's not public, obviously, but I'm just doing this for her for when she's 20, 25, so she can come back and see what her true self is. Because I wish I had videos of myself when I was 2 years old, when I was 3, or when I was 5, because it will help me better understand my true self. So that's the gift I'm giving my daughter since she was born. In fact, the um there's a recording of the delivery room when she actually came out from my tummy. So all of that has been documented for her to come back and see how she was. So if you can go back to your childhood and ask your parents to tell you what your hobbies were as a child, so you can go back to your true, authentic self. Now, when you when you go back to your true, authentic self, you will no longer need external validation because you will finally accept yourself for who you are, and rejection from other people become less significant because you are no longer relying on other people for acceptance. And like I said, the fear of rejection stops you from taking action in your business. Your fear of rejection shows up as self-doubt. You have so much doubt in yourself. You have very little belief in yourself as a human being compared to what you believe about external things. For example, if you placed an order on Amazon, you have full confidence that your order will arrive when Amazon said it will arrive. Even when the parcel is coming all the way from China, you have so much confidence in Amazon that your parcel will arrive. Same thing for Uber. If you went on the Uber app and you ordered a ride, and Uber tells you the ride is on the way, you don't doubt. You don't doubt Uber. You just believe and you start getting your stuff ready to go out to be there when the driver comes. So my question for you is this: why do you have so much faith in Amazon and Uber than you have in yourself? I want you to think about that and reflect on that. You have so much faith in Uber and Amazon compared to how much faith you have in yourself. So, what are the practical things I want you to take from today's episode? The practical things I want you to take and your actionable steps is to go back and think about what your true self is. Revisit your childhood joys, all of your interests as a child, the things that made you happy as a child. Revisit that and take 10 minutes a day to just do something that your true self likes. Go back to what your true self is. And to do this, I personally like to reconnect with nature. And it turns out my dad told me as a child, I used to love the outdoors. I used to love being in nature. And now I take time every day to just go be in nature and reconnect with myself so that I can release my conditioned self. I no longer wear a mask. I show up as my authentic self. I speak my truth and I tell my story. And this is when I am able to have more impact in the world because I am no longer aligning myself to the conditioned self that has been molded over the years. I am embracing my true self. And here's the thing: your true self doesn't mean that you're without flaws, right? I'm not saying your true self will be 100% perfect, but I'm saying your true self is your true you, where you accept yourself as whole, complete, and beautiful. And that whole, complete, beautiful self of you includes all of the parts you think aren't perfect. Okay, so I'm not saying when you accept your true self, it means you're 100% perfect. No, you just accept yourself for who you are. You're no longer wearing a mask. You're showing up and you adjust yourself. And at that point, when you are embodying your true self, you're going to be very, very confident. You're going to be so self assured and so self confident that it attracts people to you. So if you're struggling to move forward in your business, if you're struggling to move forward in your career, I want to encourage you to embrace your true self. Because when you embrace and think about this, wearing a mask takes an effort, right? If I'm going out and I need to pretend to be somebody else, it takes an effort to pretend, just like actors. Actors who act in movies or in theaters, they have to wear a mask and they have to pretend to be somebody else. And it takes practice to pretend to be somebody else, right? It takes an effort on your part to pretend to be somebody else. When you are your true, authentic self, there is no pretending. You don't have to rehearse the role, you just show up as yourself. And it takes that effort away from trying to pretend. So when you're no longer making an effort to pretend, you just shed all the layers, all the things that have been holding you back. And then you attract the life, the abundance, the wealth that you deserve. I want to invite you. I want to help you build confidence. I want to help you go back to your true, authentic self. I have a container which I'm going to give you a 7-day trial to. Just come and try it out for yourself. Let me help you build confidence. Just give me 7 days. You're going to come in and try for 7 days. If you don't feel like your confidence is building, all you have to do is just leave. Okay? So I'm going to drop the link in the show notes. It's my new container called the Dream Life Factory. It's brand new. And I want to invite you to try for 7 days. This is where I'm going to help you overcome your self-doubt. I'm going to help you overcome all of the things that's been holding you back for so many years. I'm going to help you shed all of those things so that you become confident, you become your true self, and you finally start to create the life of wealth, the life of abundance, the life of success you want. And why is this so very important? Well, when you become your true self, when you're so confident in yourself, you finally take action. Now, it doesn't matter what strategies you've learned or in business, whether you want to use Facebook, you want to use Instagram to promote your business, or you want to do podcasting, or you want to do Facebook ads. It doesn't matter the business strategy. The reason why you're not making progress is not because of the strategy. It's because you have a fear of rejection. It's because you are constantly seeking acceptance from others. It's because you have self-doubt in yourself. It is because you are not confident. So it doesn't matter what strategy you use. In fact, I used to say this, all strategies work. The reason why you're not seeing results is because you're not taking action consistently. And the reason you're not taking action consistently is because you have self-doubt. It is because you are afraid of rejection. It is because you have conditioned yourself to become somebody else. You're not your true self. So I want to help you build your confidence. In the Dream Life Factory, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on your goals. You're going to finally shed all of the pretending that you've been pretending all of these years, and you're going to find true purpose. You're going to find that thing that only you can bring to the world. And that's your path to success. That is your path to abundance. That is your path to freedom and fulfillment. Because God has blessed each and every one of us with a special gift. And that special gift is your ticket to success. That special gift, when you embrace that special gift and you exploit that special gift, that is your path to abundance. So I want to help you find joy, fulfillment, and purpose in life by becoming your confident self. So grab the link. It's going to be in the show notes if you're listening on the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in the description. Grab the link and I'll see you in my container. Again, there's a 7-day trial. You're not making any decision now. You're just joining to try. And then after 7 days, you decide. You decide whether you want to stay. I am so excited for you. I am so excited for all of the successes you will create for yourself because you choose to go back to your true self. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you back here in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. Let's continue this journey of growth and success together. Don't forget to connect with me on social media for more tips and inspiration. And remember, Your ambitions are valid, your potential is limitless, and you deserve a business that brings you both joy and fulfillment. Until next time, keep taking action, be joyful, and you will create success beyond your wildest dreams. Sending you lots of love, peace, joy, and light. Bye for now.